Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we've got a Monday Ramble because we actually have a preview to look at. It's a little bit difficult to do them every week now because we only get one actual preview every 2 weeks. The other one is just going over the stuff that we saw last week, which is in itself usually a repeat of things that we have seen in the past anyway, and that is getting a bit too iterative. That's getting just a little bit too meta for my personal taste, but this one's a good one. This one's a good one because we got all of the Slaanesh stuff. So we get to ogle it once again, as you would, because it all looks quality. So, devotees of divine excess and murder collide. Surely the two are pretty much similar. So, bumper week for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. I'm afraid, if it's only 40k you're into, then there's not going to be much for you this week. But on the other hand, the Slaanesh stuff looks so good, why would you not want it anyway? I mean, there's all sorts of reasons. Not to your personal taste, not the sort of thing that you would normally collect, don't have the budget for it, perhaps you spent all your money on the Dark Angel stuff last week. I've answered my own question there, but let's carry on regardless. This lad, with his very suggestively held mace, is on the Codex, and I'm loving it. I'm loving the pose. They knew what they were doing. They knew. I was honestly kind of surprised that more people didn't notice this the first time we saw this. There were a good number of people who were like, I did not even twig that he was holding it in that particular position. And surely that's the only reason it was drawn like that. It is intentionally, very intentionally suggestive, surely, unless the artists themselves drew it, and then afterwards someone went, did you mean to infer dong there? Or was that an accident? Was that something you weren't going for? Because if so, that person has clearly got it on the brain. In which case, I mean, perfect artist to draw Slaanesh, surely. It is a good cover, though. It is good. Lovely and vibrant. You were wondering where I was going to go with that sentence, but that's your imagination, not mine. So yeah, it's a good cover. It's a good cover on the Hedonites of Slaanesh battle tome. You've also got your usual cards and that lot, and some dice. I'm totally getting these. Even if it ends up being months before I actually pick up the models, which is likely because I've got like a bunch of stuff that I'm currently messing with. I have more projects than I have time at the moment, but I'm grabbing the dice anyway. They can go with the Emperor's Children dice that I've got because it's all purple, it's all Slaanesh, it's all good. Now, in terms of models, of course, we've had a look at these before, but they are still quality. There's the Lords of Pain. This is, of course, Voldo from Soul Calibur. There are distinct similarities there, although admittedly, Voldo doesn't have a whack-off great maul thing, which, I mean, everything can be improved by giving it a giant maul, so that's something. I did realise the other day that he is, yes, doing the foot on a rock pose, but it's a carved head statue. Or statue head? That's more sensible. Head statue, what's that even mean? That's a bust, surely. I'll let them off for this one. Slightly different. Got a bit of variation to the rock there. It's still a quality model. He still looks like an absolute freak. The fact that all the different hooks for his armor seem to be stitched into the skin as opposed to armor. It's good. It's good. And then we've got this one, which again, I really do like quite a lot. And of course, if I remember correctly, this is the one that basically makes people look inwards at themselves as part of their magic use, which is, again, a nice twist, a nice little... It's something a bit different. It's something a bit more interesting than just, I don't know, making them horny or whatever. It's a more rounded exploration of what Slaanesh actually is. So, again, bonus points for that. Looks good. The idea behind it is even better. We've got the various warriors, the Myrmidesh Painbringers and Simbaresh Twin Souls. The names are, as always, convoluted, and I cannot pronounce half of them, but they do sound cool. And these guys look quality. I really like these. Out of the two, I think I prefer the Myrmidesh lads, the Myrmidesh Painbringers. I think I prefer them. There's something a bit more... I don't know, I think I just like a bit of full plate armour, to be honest with you. And, of course, these, for the most part, have got the whole full plate armour thing. Apart from the occasional leather boot, you notice that the squad leader has swapped shoes with the lad to the right of him. Screen right. Yeah, I don't know. That is the one little detail that's actually a little bit, in hindsight, a bit weird. But then again, I like the overall model so much that I just don't care. There's a nice balance there between a bit of finery, a bit of like over the top decoration, but not quite enough to totally interfere with like how much it looks like they could actually fight. It's not hugely overblown, but there is a lot of suggestion of kind of a bit of excessive taste going on, which I do like a lot. And yeah, I mean, these guys, they look fine, but they're just not quite to the same level for me personally. But they do still look good. Yeah, no, I'm liking them still liking them. So we've got Bliss Barb archers as well. There's a nice level of like equivalency between all the different like the different models. They all just wear the same thing. Male, female, doesn't matter. You all get the same uniform. It is revealing whilst also being, again, that little bit excessive in terms of the amount of cloth and the jewels and the headdresses and stuff. I don't think you can really call them helmets because they're not. But yeah, I do like this unit a lot. It works really, really well. The various lads on Seekers, again, are solid. The Seekers themselves, I think, are one of the like nicest revamps. They've all got that bit of individuality. They've got like a weird... It's the way there's... like bits of them have been dressed up, like given like the legging and whatever. It's just a weird detail to give them, which makes them so much more interesting. Various bits of jewellery, and yeah, I really like them. I think they just look more visually interesting than the Seekers that like the Demonettes ride. I can see why they've done it. It, makes them stand apart, makes them a little bit separate. You can clearly see the basis is the same, but the customization on these, I don't know, it just adds an extra level of cool detail to them. We've got the Slangor Fiend Bloods as well, which look solid. You can't complain about a bit of Slangor, can you? They look quality. Absolute freaks of nature, of course. Like, even by the standards of like the Slaanesh stuff as a whole, these are just super weird. But again, can't help but like them with the big pinchy grabby claws. I'm absolutely going to be grabbing Sigvald. There's no chance that I won't. I just, even if that's the only model I get from this range for a little bit, I want to paint him. I really want to paint him. I'm actually thinking about not doing him gold, but doing him silver, just because I don't know. I feel like the gold looks good, but something tells me that it would be kind of fun to have like a bright silver Sigvald with like a really vibrant kind of pink cape would look kind of cool. So I'm gonna go for that, but he's definitely gonna get grabbed, so to speak, because I mean, look at it, it's so good. Although it does mean that Age of Sigmar got a Fulgrim before we did. I know that technically not the same thing, but come on. Give him a couple of extra arms, a snake body, he's right there. You've got him right there. He looks so good. And then there's also this lad. Glutos or Scolian or Solian or whatever. I still really like this. The fact that they've painted the chariot as marble still tickles me. Must weigh an absolute ton, that thing. Marble is not a light material. Those lads pulling it, I mean, yeah, they're clearly roided up, but my god, you don't want to get punched by one of them. It would take your whole body off, surely. And of course it is showing off another aspect of Slaanesh. It's showing the gluttony side of things, the greed, the just overconsumption. I just like that that's being explored now. It's good. Flesh it out, make it all more interesting and more accurate and just more fun. So, of course, we've also got the new Daughters of Khaine stuff. We've got the new battle tome for them, which is pretty hot on the heels of the Marathi book, which is a little bit, I don't know. Those of you who are affected by this, I think you need to make the call as to whether that is a positive or a bit of a piss take. I feel like the Marathi book just didn't come out all that long ago, and having a battle tome so soon after that feels a little bit much, to be honest. But yeah, I I don't play that army, so I don't want to speak for you, but for me personally, I would be a bit miffed. I would be a bit like, well, what did I just buy this book for if you've now immediately, like, put the stuff that was in it in a new battle tome? Like, it just feels a little too soon. But then again, if you're getting more updated rules earlier, is that something necessarily to complain about? And yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think of that in the comments, to be honest. There's also, of course, the limited, well, the special edition version of it. Yeah, and we've got the endless spells as well, which I said before that the swords to me look great. The snake looks really cool. I can see myself using those for other projects. The hand is just not to my personal taste. Although I have seen Vincent Notley on Twitter did talk about using the hand on an Imperial Knight. Now that would be cool. I would like to see that. I would love to see how that's implemented. But for me personally, I'm just not feeling that one. But the others I really like. They do look really cool. We've also got dice for them, although they're very bright dice, actually. I kind of would have expected more of a blood motif, I guess. I mean, they are red, but like more blood droplet shaped, like dots, maybe. I don't know. I will say, at least in the case of both these and the Hedonites of Slaanesh dice, they are fully functional, readable dice. That is nice. That is good. I approve of that trend. Fully functional, readable dice that have just numbers on all but the 6, and the 6 is the faction symbol. That is the way to do it. That is how you do your special edition dice. Just vary the colours up a bit, make them a bit visually interesting colour-wise. Don't go daft and just cover them in weird symbols that don't mean anything. Yes, the squig dice are hilarious. Yes, the Nurgle dice are funny. But this is functional and usable, and that to me is kind of better. I like to be able to at least somehow use the dice I buy, so yeah, definite plus for that. In terms of Black Library, we've got Storm Vault, we have got more Warhammer Adventures, so Plague of the Nurglings. Bit rough if one of your chums gets his face chewed off by a rabid Nurgling whilst they also die of the plague. Not great. We've got Ghosts as well, Fortress of Ghosts, sorry. And we have the Harrowed Paths, which is a collection of Warhammer horror stories. I'm looking forward to getting that. I'm going to grab Deacon of Wounds when that comes out, and I'm going to grab this when this comes out. I'm actually really enjoying the Warhammer horror stuff. I will say, it works surprisingly well. I still need to sit down and finish an actual script for a video. My God, could it be? Yes, for the Reverie, which I thought was a really good Warhammer horror book, which involves Space Marines. You wouldn't necessarily think, well, how do we wouldn't necessarily think that a horror that involves Space Marines would actually work all that well, because they are quite famously immune to fear. But the way it was done is really, really good and works really well. Makes the Space Marines a lot more mysterious and esoteric and borderline incomprehensible to just mortal minds, which did a lot to enhance just how weird and creepy that book was. But yeah, we'll talk about that in more detail hopefully later in the week. But overall, the Warhammer horror stuff is really well done, and I'm really enjoying it. Finally, we've got your usual schedule for Warhammer Live. Again, I genuinely recommend checking it out if you can. It is a good time. Good presenters, good quality stream. The Hobby Clinic is really helpful, and as I've said before, the Hobby Roundup is like a really good source of just ideas and inspiration. If you're feeling a little bit hobby drained, seeing what other people do can often help quite a lot. With that in mind, we are hopefully, please, for the love of God, bringing back the community spotlight next week. It's taken a while. I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to give people the attention that they want, but trying to sort out the submission stuff for that has been a pain, because apparently some people just don't like having nice things and make things as awkward as possible, but we've worked out a way of doing it, which should hopefully mean that we can get that back up and running. So yeah, that will hopefully return soon. Look out. I'll let you know when it happens, of course. Anyway, that is the Ramble for today. I hope you've all had a lovely weekend. Is there anything particularly that you're looking forward to next weekend for the pre-orders. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click it if you don't want to. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Element Games, which you can use to support the channel if you would like. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.